All right, everybody, we're back. And today I have with us the one and only Kevin Lehouillier from Colonial Floor Service. What's up, Kev?
What's up, John?
You're the second masshole I've had on here in the past month, you know?
Good, let's see how I do.
So what's new, man? Kevin, let me talk a little backstory with Kevin. I grew up with this kid. And, you know, I don't remember exactly what grade we started hanging out in. I don't remember back that far. But I do remember you and I did Halloween as Kiss.
Yep.
By the way, you ever find those photos?
They're somewhere.
Dude, I would give anything to see. I would give anything to see those. That would be so funny to look at photos of that.
I probably do.
You probably have them somewhere?
Yeah.
Sweet. So you have been doing hardwood floors since as far back as I can remember. I actually worked for you for a little while. And I can't remember, did you fire me? I mean, did I do something stupid or what?
Yeah, I fired you. I was actually thinking about that, and I think it's probably being late. I'm wondering if you were a late person, because I fired a lot of people for being late.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but I just can't remember.
Me neither.
I can't remember that far back, but I do remember the big machines and all the dust and all that stuff. And it's just like, wow, you and I lost touch for several years, but on occasion we'd, call each other or whatever. I remember inviting you to my 44th birthday I had there in Lowell.
Yeah.
I showed up to visit my family. That was a long time ago, dude. And now we're much older. So,
yes.
We definitely lost touch for a while, but like I said, we talked here and there, and you're still doing that exact same business, and that's commendable, man.
Yeah.
How many years you been doing it?
42 years.
Wow, 42 years. That's impressive. And the reason why I thought you'd be a good guest for the show is because, oftentimes I run into hardwood flooring here in California. And, it's typically worn out when I see it. On occasion, I'll see some homes that, wow, they actually spent the money and had these things refinished and so forth. And so, I've always had questions about, refinishing floors, repairing hardwood floors, and so forth. So having you on the show to explain all that would be really great for home buyers, home inspectors, because when you find it, well, as a home inspector, we have to report it. If there's something bad with the floor, like we see damage, maybe it looks like it might be wood destroying organisms like, termites or something like that, or it's just worn out. We just want to know how to report it and so forth. So you, with all your experience, tell me about what type of floors you typically deal with hardwood. Is it a certain brand? Is it a certain material? Yeah,
I mostly just buy one company's product. It's a 10 Oaks, and it's clear grade. The reason why it's a good mill, and the boards are longer than some of the regular Select and Better stuff.
Okay. So we talking like a pine board, or what if hardwood? What's the material that they're made out of? That's what I'm kind of trying to ask.
I guess 90% of what we do is oak.
Okay.
You get some pine, but not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay. And the majority of your work is it just basically refinishing, or is it installs? What do you mainly do?
Well, it's interesting because if I install it, I sand it. So that's 50-50.
Okay.
But, and then the ones that I just refinish. So, so it's maybe 70-30, 30 being the install part of the jobs, and then 70 being just sanding work.
Okay, got it. Right. And I know one thing, that job is very involved. Like there's a lot of steps to this, right?
Yes.
How many steps would you say there is to doing a 1,100 square foot house, all hardwood floors?
I would have to say 2, 3, 6 to 7.
Okay, 6 to 7. By all means, tell me what they are.
Well, to start off the job, you're going to use this big machine that we'll see at some point in this video. But it's basically, for me to start out a floor, I cross the floor out really good to get rid of any ripples from another floor guy or a homeowner. And by crossing it out, I'll be able to cross out, the boards some boards are softer than others. So when you cross it out, everything's equal.
What does that mean? What does that mean, crossing it out?
Well, it's almost like putting an X in the room.
Okay,
so it's kind of like you'd go at an angle like an X. Not quite that drastic, but you would rip across the boards, which would, like I said, would eliminate the fact that some boards are softer and harder, whereas if you were to go straight, it would pick up the softer and harder boards.
Oh, I see. Okay. So in other words, you're going across the grain. You're going across the grain.
Basically ripping it. Yep.
Okay, so so instead of following the line of the boards, so let's say they're all going to the left, you're going to be going at an angle left.
Yes.
Correct. Left to north, in other words.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. And then that just helps you eliminate any kind of, height differences in the floor. It just brings it all even.
Yep. It helps any kind of a bump in the floor. Like I said, if there's any ripples in the floor from someone doing it themselves, or another floor guy that maybe not know that much about it. So I'm not just cleaning out his holes. I'll be ripping across them so that it'll make everything flat.
You mean another hack? Yeah.
I don't.
We got some hacks. It's okay. Hey, man, this is just a podcast. You say whatever the hell you want, dude. Don't even worry about it. We're not throwing names out there, but they know who they are.
Yeah.
I see hacks all the time. I don't mind talking about them because they know who they are. So anyway, that's cool. So that was basically step one. So
that's
okay.
And then what I would have to do after that would be step 2 would be to straighten the floor out rough.
Okay.
So now you're going to go with the grain and take out them cross marks.
Okay.
So that would be the second step. And then we would go after going around the edges with the edger, which would be another step. And then with these radiators, which most of the time there are, I have a small machine that's called the under the radiator machine that will get underneath the heaters.
So it's under the radiator machine? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Well, or under cabinets, the front of cabinets.
So it's like a detailer. So you can really get into those tight spots.
It's just where the edger can't get.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you have an edger, but this is
the edge.
Oh, all right.
The edges for the baseboards, against the baseboards more.
Sure.
So it wouldn't go underneath the heaters,
Okay, got it. That's a good point. I didn't think of that. I mean, I understand the edging because you got cabinets sometimes, you get baseboards. I get all that, but I didn't know about that. I didn't think of that getting under radiators. Why? Because we don't really have radiators here.
Okay.
My mom has like 6 of them at her house.
Yeah.
In Lowell. You can get out there and check out. Yeah.
Sorry.
My mom's got those old radiators. She never wanted to upgrade her heating and cooling system. I'm like, Ma, just install it, man. Things are, I don't like air conditioning. That's what she says.
Some of them.
She doesn't get it. All right. Yeah. That's all right. Love you, Mom. Anyway, so that's cool. So then what steps are after that?
So then we would do that step, and then we would have to go with the big machine again and do a fine cut.
Okay.
And then after that, there's a buffer, which I didn't get a chance to videotape for this show, but that one would connect the circular marks from the edger to the straight marks, which would basically take out all the circular marks and make all the floor nice and smooth and like a piece of glass.
Wow. That's
floor coat.
It sounds like a lot of work, man.
It is.
That's a lot of work. And so do you have any employees or anything like that?
Not at the moment. Nope. I've been doing it on my own now for, I don't know, maybe 20 years.
Wow, dude. How you getting those big machines out of the truck all the time? They look pretty heavy.
The big machine comes apart. The newest addition to the company is a buffer sander. They call it a sander more than a buffer. And it weighs about 200 pounds, and that doesn't come apart.
I think you sent me a picture of that.
Yes, there might be a picture of it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get into some pictures eventually here. So we'll get into that stuff. So basically, that sounds like a lot of work. So Kev, I have a question. Make believe I'm a homeowner and I'm living in my house. I'm already living there, and I got my furniture everywhere. And I want all my floors redone, sanded and refinished because they all look like hell. So how is that going to inconvenience me as a homeowner? What do I have to do to prepare for you? Do I have to move everything out of my house, or are you going to do one room at a time?
I'd do the whole house. They'd have to empty it, put the furniture in the garage or in a pod or something. Okay,
so that is a big inconvenience then.
Yes.
Because I'm living there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That a lot of people probably don't think of that before they call you. It's like...
Well...
Yeah, go ahead.
Most of the time, the people would go on vacation while I'm doing that.
Really?
So they'd schedule a vacation and then, yeah.
So they're spending money on a vacation and they're spending money on you. So are these people standing on their wallets when they call you? I mean, do they have a lot of money or what?
I have no idea how much people.
Dude, that's hilarious. We're just going on vacation.
Yep.
So you're just, wow, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way before.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what if you don't have any customers that don't go on vacation? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if they want the whole house done, they'll have to stay at a hotel or a family member's house.
Okay. So okay. As a homeowner, you are going to be inconvenienced with this. So if you're not going on vacation, you're going to have to stay at your in-laws' house, and that could be hell, right there. So it's hard to say, but okay. That's putting it in perspective, and that's giving everybody a realistic understanding of what's involved for you to do your job. And yep. I think the beauty of that is if everyone's moved out, no one's there bugging you. That's got to be cool. You just walk around with your headphones on.
Yep. Yeah. No, nobody wants to be in my space anyways.
It's noisy.
Yep.
It's very noisy. You have to wear headphones, don't you, for sound?
Yep, I do. Yep, all the time.
Yep. And, wow, that's interesting. So you just mentioned a lot of the steps that you go through for one house. We used 1,100 square foot there for an example. So if it's a brand new construction house, you're installing the floors, right?
Correct.
So after you do all that installing, then you still have to sand them, correct? They have to be sanded once if they're new product?
Yeah, if it's a new product, definitely. But lots of times the builders are doing the pre-finished stuff, so they eliminate the sanding process.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to do as much sanding, or you just got to do a minor sanding?
You just install it. Floor's already finished.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then you just do your staining after that, and what's the you're saying you're installing them with? They're already finished?
Yes, the boards are already finished. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So when you install the floor, they just move in right after the floors are installed.
Oh, so they're all stained and coated. What's the top coating on this you're using?
It's something the factory uses. It's some type of a VOC, I believe a water-based type like
a polyurethane?
It's not because it's all cured by UV lights.
Oh.
And quickly, but I believe it's a acrylic.
Okay.
Finish on them.
And now when you're doing a old floor and you're refinishing it, what do you use for the top coat?
Polyurethane.
Okay, so you are. So I wasn't crazy thinking of that. It's probably all I remember from working for you was the smell of that.
I don't smell it anymore.
Oof. Got it. All right. Well, on that note, let's take a look at some pictures. So that looks like a 6-inch plank or a 4-inch plank? What is that?
It's actually, they're like almost 10-inch boards.
Wow. Okay, those are big boards, yeah. Yeah, I could see that floor looks worn out. I could see why they'd want to call you. So tell me about this type of floor. What kind of wood is that?
That is a hard pine.
Okay. And it looks like it's
something
right.
that
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Something that they would use in the older houses years ago. So this is a pretty old house.
Do you happen to know what year it was or area? I mean,
I believe it was 1818.
Wow. I've never inspected a house 1818 before. Oh shit. The oldest I've ever inspected was like, I think 1901.
Wow.
1901 over here. And dude, that thing was all brick. It was a mess. Yeah, I think the buyer walked on that one. It's,
Really?
Brick's not reinforced. We live in earthquake country, so not good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So okay. So this floor here, it's obviously worn out. It's really old, as you just mentioned. That's a pretty old floor. So what was your when you just trying to? I'm just trying to understand like what's your thought process when you show up and see this? I mean, what are you first thinking? Oh shit, I got a lot of work ahead of me. I mean, what's going on?
No, these kind of floors actually excite me because the outcome is amazing.
Okay. Do tell.
For the amount of work that they are to get them to the finished product, which we'll see, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're going to get to those photos.
So,
yeah. So, okay. So let's take a look at the next one in line, which would be.
So let me.
Okay. You got more to say?
I would just want to explain one thing in this picture. You see
Sure.
in the cracks, they're all white.
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay. So what that is people have put in filler in them cracks.
You mean wood filler?
Wood filler, yes. Sorry. And what ends up happening with that situation is the puts more pressure on the boards. So now when the boards get moisture, you have that filler in there, the boards make more room. So these cracks are pretty big once I clean them all out.
So you mean expansion and contraction comes into play? Different temperature changes. Different temperature changes makes the wood shrink and expand at different times.
Yep.
Okay. And it adversely affects the wood floor.
Yes.
Wow.
And we'll see. I can explain more with the other pictures, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really interesting stuff right there. So going to the next picture, which would be the number 2, and it looks to me like you cleared out all the wood filler you just mentioned.
Yep. I took all the filler out of the cracks and prepping it for another step.
That's a lot of filler you pulled out of there.
Yeah.
How long did that take you?
Do you see the? That was a good, say 3 hours.
Oof. On your knees?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That don't matter.
I'm just saying, you're on your knees. What'd you pull it out with, a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Just a screwdriver? Okay. You don't have to use a special tool for that?
No, they're so big.
Oh, they're big. Okay. So they just pop right out. And they're not really adhesed very well either, I'm sure.
A little bit, but not really.
Yeah, got it. Okay, wow. You made quite a mess there. This third photo looks like you swept everything up that you just scraped out. And I think I see dog hair in there. Or maybe that's a cat. I don't know.
There's a lot.
It looks like there's a lot of stuff in there. All right, so
yeah.
I'm seeing some weird sand marks here. So we're looking at some really cross-grained sand marks. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
So go ahead and fill me in on the rest of this.
So what I'm trying to accomplish in this process, the boards, kind of what I was explaining with the boards, getting that filler put in them, what ends up happening, there was a very moist basement, so that filler just puts a bunch of pressure on the boards. So now these boards are trying to find room when they want to expand.
Got it.
So now they're getting pressure and they're crowning.
I see.
So all them boards, the top is, you could see the low, where it's black in between the boards, that's a low spot of the board.
Right. Makes
Where
sense.
the cracks are. So what I have to do with this particular floor is I have to go over all them boards and cross the tops off.
Okay.
The centers. If that makes sense?
Yep. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see what you mean by the cupping, because that's how you have the high point and low points. Now, what about, is the end of that floor where it runs into the baseboard, is that floor going under the baseboard or right into the baseboard?
Right into the baseboard.
Okay, so the baseboard was put in first, and then the floors were put
Yes.
in. Interesting. Over here, it's a bit different. They typically run the floors almost right to the wall, and then they put the baseboard on top.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I see over here. But then again, I may be just looking at it from a mostly remodeled, perspective. So it might the original houses might have been a bit different. You're on the East Coast, and they have basements. So this is a bit different than what goes on here in Cali, where on occasion I'll find a basement. There's very few homes here with basements. And when they are present, they are tiny. Basically, you probably don't know this, so I'll just fill you in. So basically, when I find a basement in California, it was only there just to hold the water heater tank, and or both the water heater tank and the octopus furnace. So basically, they were only so big just to be able to put those in there. And the stairs, they're like this. The stairs are like, I'm not even feeling comfortable walking down those stairs, and they look like they were built in 1912. So I'm like hanging on to whatever I can, and as I walk down, I'm like, this is so dangerous. It's like a slide.
Yeah.
One wrong move and you're done. And then and on the East Coast, where we both grew up, that's all basements, man. You can finish off your basements down there and all kinds of stuff. So you're saying that in this particular house, there was moisture underneath in the basement, and that might have been contributing to some of the problems here?
Yes.
Okay, so when this floor was installed, they don't put any kind of vapor barrier under it, or is it because the house is so old?
Yeah, because the house is so old, there was nothing like that, no.
Yeah, so there was no vapor barriers back then. We know that. Yeah, so you're buying an old house, and it's still, everything's original to the structure, then you don't have today's modern technology with that type of stuff, with underlayment or any kind of moisture barriers and stuff like that, unless somebody already did it. But in most cases, well, that's interesting. So I see what you're doing here. You got a floor that's got a bunch of cupping in it. You're sanding it. You got high points, low points, and then you got to get it all even, huh?
Correct.
That's your goal, is to get it all even.
Exactly. That's the only way the machine's going to run properly on it.
Got it. Okay. All right, let's go to the next photo.
So what you're seeing there is I've filled the cracks with caulking.
Ah, okay.
Latex caulking. Yep.
So tell me about that.
So the reason why I like to do that is it gives the floor a really unique look. Eliminates looking down to the basement. And a lot of things like you've seen I pulled out of there from getting in the cracks. So it's pretty it makes the floor pretty clean.
So there's no subfloor under this?
There is, but the boards are the same direction because they're concentrating on going across the joists still.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's good info, man. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah.
So they're all running in the same direction.
Correct.
Huh. Interesting. So if there's cracks in the sub, and those boards, the subfloor we're talking about is probably what, a 1x6?
They're pretty big boards down there too.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You said these are like 10-inch? Yeah, you said these are like 10-inch.
These are 10s, but the other ones they vary. You know what I mean? I'm just guessing that they would have used the scrap parts of the trees.
Right.
For the lower part, so it could be anything down there. That's why there's big spaces that you might land on the same crack and be able to see down in the basement.
They're like, no one's going to see this. Let's just use this shit.
Well,
Makes sense. Yeah, I get it. I get back in, you said that was what, 18 what?
18.
Wow. Dude, that is so old, man.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Okay. So, all right. So you filled in with, you said it was caulking?
Yeah, latex caulking.
Latex
Black.
caulking. It's black. All right. So you filled all that in, and now you're going to start sanding? Is that what you're going to do next?
Correct.
Ah, okay. Wow. I would expect that you would sand the floor first, then put the caulking in. But yeah, explain that to me, because that's I would have guessed the other way.
Well, it's pretty messy for one thing, so you don't have to worry about, putting it in like that. You would have to, if you did it after, you would have to tape off all the cracks, I would think,
I see.
fill them in so that you could peel the tape away, but then you'd have an edge on the caulking.
Right.
So putting it in before that, I'm going to sand it level with the floor.
Okay.
So it's all going to have the same.
Right. Now, obviously, you're letting it dry for a day or so too, I'm sure.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So it's nice and dried out and everything. Okay, interesting. Yep. All right. Let's go to the next one. That does look pretty cool like that. I could see that. Now you sanded it. I could see the black caulking, and that does make it stand out. Yeah, it's got a nice look.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you can still see the nail holes.
Yes.
It gives it a nice aged look, rustic, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks good. I like it. So when you're using your sander on something like this, like how does... I'm assuming you have a big sanding bag that catches all that material, right? So how many times you got to change that on a floor like this?
I don't know. I think I left that job at probably, I'm going to say probably 7 to 8. Yeah, but I think it may have been closer to 8 bags of sawdust.
Wow.
Which is trash bags, a black trash bag, 30-gallon.
Do you repurpose that sawdust or you just toss it?
I do not. Nope. It just gets tossed, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. You don't throw it back in the wood so it goes back to its original maker, the trees?
No. Customers do. I've seen them do it. Yeah.
That reminds me. Well, I got that from Happy Gilmore. Remember Happy Gilmore when he's gonna?
Oh yeah.
He picked up a rake or something. What are you doing with that rake? I was just gonna throw it back in the woods so he'll be back with his family. It was a wooden rake or something like that.
Yeah. That was a good movie. I like that movie.
I watch it every time it comes on. It's hilarious. Yeah. By the way, Kev, I'll be getting you one of these.
Good. I like them.
Your own coffee mug. Just so anybody watching right now or listening, I've been getting a lot of requests for these coffee mugs I made.
That's awesome.
So what I did recently was I just opened up a Shopify store. So I'm going to have a link to that in the description on the podcast and the YouTube video. Anybody listening or watching, you can click on that and you can get a t-shirt like this, buying a home, don't panic, and coffee cups. And there's going to be some other merchandise on there. So people are starting to request it a lot. And I can't keep up with the order. With the requests, so I'm just like, you know what? I need to do this simply. So I created a website for it. Nice. So, but I'll get you one of these, man.
Cool.
For being a guest on the show. So, all right, cool. So that floor looks really good to me so far. And this is not coated yet or colored. Correct. Are you going to put a color?
Yeah, no, that floor is not going to need any color. That old floor has so much color you wouldn't even touch it with a color. Okay. It would be a shame to put stain on that floor.
So all right. So you're going to put a polyurethane on this.
Correct.
All right. Fill me in on what you got to do next.
So, like you said, we're going to go around the edges with the smaller machine, clean up all the edges on it. And then after that, there's a hand scraping process that we have to do on our hands and knees.
When you say we, you mean you, right?
Yeah, right. Me. That's it. Sorry.
I'm not helping
Thanks,
you.
John.
I know I'm not there.
That's right. Maybe you remember scraping corners. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, dude. All right, so then what? Then you're gonna.
Then we're gonna use that that buffer sander.
Okay.
That will get the floor all nicely sanded equally.
Okay.
Before the finish.
And tell me about the finish.
The finish. Well, it's an oil-based polyurethane. It gets applied by brush around the edges and a wool applicator in the middle of the floor.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go to the next photo of that. Bam, there's your finished product, right? Is that finished? Looks like a satin finish on that one.
Yeah, 99% of the customers are a satin finish.
Okay, so this is the same house, right? Same room, same floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So it looks like maybe that's just one step, and then we go to picture number 2, and it looks a lot shinier.
Well, that would be wet. So if you so right
okay.
there, you're looking at the finish dried.
I see.
So before I scuff it up, I would have gone to the other one, and I took a picture of the floor wet.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes people kind of want to know what the gloss looks like.
Right.
So instead of I might do one gloss job a year. So I'll have that picture of the floor wet, and it'll give people an idea. This is what satin looks like. This is what gloss looks like.
I like the gloss.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that. It looks like an ice rink.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That's on a floor like that. It just. Yeah. No, you can't do that.
You can't do gloss on a floor like that.
No.
Why not? Oh, you just don't like the way it looks.
Hey, look, I got to sleep at night.
I see. So personally, you don't like the way it looks, but your customers might.
Yeah, not many of them.
Not many of them? Okay.
No, one a year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I kind of like that. I gotta have to differ with you on that one. I'd be like, Kev, I want my shit to be shiny, like my shoes.
And then my comment is, do you have plastic on your furniture too?
I don't. But I have been in a few houses like that. Once in a while, I'll walk into a home inspection on like a 1960s era, and I felt like I closed my eyes, opened them, and I was back in the 60s. Everything in the house, like some of these people like kept it pristine. I'm talking shag rugs. I'm talking all that they call it mid-century modern. That's the name for it. And they even have the furniture from back then. I'm not sure if it was exactly from then, but they furnished it to match the home's original style, and it's amazing. Yep. And everything worked. Like I go through the house, all the faucets are good. I'm like, damn, wow. I was really impressed. I congratulated the homeowner. I was like, this place is amazing. And they're like, why? I'm like, because we don't get to see this every day, man. It's like a treat, you know. It's inspector porn, you know. We don't get to. It's really cool to see that because we don't get to see it a lot. So we get excited about certain things. We're kind of weird like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was a cool process for an 1808 house. There is some great stuff, Kev. Good work. I like it.
Yeah, there was a lot of satisfaction in that floor.
Yeah, I can tell by the way you talk and by what we're going. Well, you know what the pictures look like. I can see that you're big on detail and you take a lot of pride in your work. I could tell that.
Yes.
So, anybody listening, and you're in the Pepperell, Massachusetts area or surrounding areas, give Kevin a call, man. He knows his shit when it comes to floors. But he doesn't work Sundays. Got that? Give the guy a break.